on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Sports Reno.
That's right. It is Cofield and Company on your Friday afternoon from the Golden Circle Sportsbook and Bar. Come on down, hang out. We got college bowl games. We got NBA games going on. We got hockey games. A lot of fun action. Arkansas is putting a beating on Texas Tech already, 7-0. This is fun. I love December just for the amount of sports that we get.
Oh, it's fantastic, especially week 17 right now in the NFL with some very meaningful games for the wild card, and then leading up to the bowl games. And of course, January 1st has always been my favorite. Yep. And now they're even more meaningful with the playoffs. So
what do you think of, because one of the goals in college football, if you can't get to the national championship, at least a goal in my mind, you want to play on the New Year's Day game bowls, whatever they're called. This year, part of the college football playoff, there are 4 games. 1 is New Year's Eve, 3 are New Year's Day. Do you want to see it 2-2? Do you want to see it 4 on New Year's Day? Or are you okay with the 1 and 3?
I'm okay with the 1 and 3 right now.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes, but I think they're spaced out perfectly.
Yes.
On New Year's Day, right? And then you have 1 leading up to it. Do you think the teams care either way?
I don't think they care, because right now they're not worried about New Year's.
No.
They're not looking to celebrate
Neither
nothing.
side. Yeah.
But I would have liked to see 2 on New Year's Eve and then 2 on New Year's Day. I think that would be perfect.
The only thing is, not everybody is as fortunate as us and gets to completely revolve their whole world around sports. Right. So a lot of people actually do have to work New Year's Eve and then typically get New Year's Day off.
Suckers.
Yeah. So it I think it's set up nice for them, just have 1
right
after maybe a half day of work or full day of work, get that 1 and then have the 3 all day football there.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait for that day. I already told my fiance, hey, don't schedule anything New Year's Day. I will be laying around the house watching football. All right, let's
working. You'll be working.
Yes.
It's part of your work.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. All right, let's hit number 1.
Number 1.
All right, real quick, wanted to get to this because this could be a relatively big story. The Eagles are still trying to fight for that number 1 seed. They could still get there. However, they need a lot of help. They are 1 game back of the Lions right now. The Eagles currently sit in the 2 seed. Jalen Hurts is out for this week. So it's going to be Kenny Pickett going up against the Dallas defense that has been really good as of lately, ever since Micah Parsons came back from injury. And this game is very important. Now, since Jalen Hurts is out, if the Eagles lose, they will pretty much be locked into the 2 seed. Can't go to the 1. Would you sit Jalen Hurts week 18?
Yes, I think so. Especially because we don't really know. I mean, there was a period where it kind of seemed like Jalen Hurts had a concussion already this year, right? And now it's pretty bad concussion, has to have the full week off. So going into that one, if you already have the 2 seed locked up, I would play a quarter, but for a majority of the game, I would use that rest, especially at the 2 seed. You don't get that bye week, right? And they will be hosting the following week. So,
and with how they use him in the tush push, he likes to scramble. I don't think it would be a good thing to put somebody who is coming off of a concussion into that situation, because we've seen it with Tua where it can go very bad with 1 hit, and he's gotten hits where he's out multiple weeks. And if you're the Eagles, that's the last thing you want right now, because you guys look really well.
Right.
You could potentially make a real run to the Super Bowl. Your defense is playing really well. You want to be healthy. So I am in the same boat as you, and I think you're already out this week. If you lose and you don't have a shot at the 1 seed, sit him, or as you said, you could play him a quarter, maybe a half, but even if you're on the 1 yard line, don't call a QB sneak. Give it to arguably the best back in the league in Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's why you got him, right?
Absolutely.
To help you in situations like that. But I think it'd be really hard for them. I mean, they need Detroit and Minnesota to lose this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I don't even know how they could.
I guess the only way to do it would be those two lose this week, Philly wins, and then week 18, I guess they play to a tie and Philly wins.
Yeah.
Or it would come down to whatever the tiebreaker is if they all finish with 14 wins.
Right.
But, yeah, I think there is an outside shot that they can get that. You had sent over an article about projections for number one seeds and all that and win division, win playoffs. Right now, the Eagles have a 4.4% chance at the number one seed.
Yeah.
So there's a shot, but not realistic. But one topic I wanted to touch bases with you on is your thoughts on record breaking, because there's potential that we see 2 rushing records go down over the next 2 weeks. One of them, college football, the other in the NFL. And both records have held since the 80s. They've been around for a long time. A lot has changed in terms of scheduling. More games are being played now than were before. Some games count now that didn't count before. We'll start in college football. Ashton Genty, he is trying to break Barry Sanders' rushing record. Right now, the official record is 2,628 yards. Unofficially, the record is 2,850. And the reason for those differences is back then when Barry Sanders played, they didn't count bowl games, which they do now. Ashton Genty has played 13 games. He's at 2,497 yards. If he breaks Barry Sanders' record, which he needs, if my math is good enough, about 140 yards or so to break his official yard mark. Do you put an asterisk, or do you just say, hey, he's the greatest running back?
Ooh. I think it's funny, too, that we have this with college and NFL, and we can compare the two, because I think it's different answers for the two, right? I think with college football, yeah, you kind of have to put an asterisk there, unless you are going to use the unofficial yards record, because then there's 2 bowl games. I mean, he already has extra games because the season is extended. So that's where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah, and so with the unofficial record, Barry Sanders played 12 games. And again, Ashton Genty has already played 13, and he can play as many as 3 more games,
right?
Depending on how far Boise State gets. Chances are, at least in my eyes, I don't think they make it past this next round. I did take Penn State -10. But so 14 games, he could break the official record of 2,628. 3 extra games. I think you kind of got to put that information in there when you talk about he's the rushing champ, because that makes a big difference. 3 games is a lot, especially this year. Genty, 3 games is 500 yards.
Do you give him some credit and kind of use the argument of the game has, gotten so much farther? The defenses have adjusted, they're tougher. And, so even though he has more games to do this, it's a tougher time to play.
I do give him credit for that. The game has absolutely evolved more than you can really even describe, not describe, but like more than you can prove, I guess. It has evolved so much. But for me with records, because we also saw it when Randy Moss broke Jerry Rice's receiving touchdown record. Rice did it, I believe, in 13 or 14 games, and Randy Moss did it in 17 games. In 16 games. So he had those extra games, and he only beat it, if I remember correctly, by 1 touchdown. So we've seen it before, and I think you have to make that part of the argument.
It's tough, right? Because, really, you'll have to do this for every single record just moving forward, because every sport just continues to evolve and add more games. That's what people want.
Yep.
So especially in football. So they're going to continue this. And
and another one that we're potentially seeing, the NFL rushing record. Saquon Barkley is 268 yards short of Eric Dickerson's record. Again, Barkley, 1,838 rushing yards through 15 games. He still has 2 games more to go. Eric Dickerson ran 2,100 yards in 16 games. So Barkley will have that extra game. Now, it's not as big as what we just talked about with Genty getting 3 extra games.
Right.
So it's not that much of a deal, but he still does get that extra game.
And I feel like my answer is contradicting, but I think Barkley's is more legitimate because it's not going into postseason at all, right? Or bowl games. So it is just the regular season. He can't really help the fact that the game that they've expanded the regular season.
Yep. And I'm right with you on that one. I do think they're 2 different arguments because NFL they have a separate regular season and postseason, which I wish college football would do that, have a regular season and then have a total. I think that's the way you got to do it.
Well, especially now that it's expanded to more rounds, right, in the postseason for college football. So I think you are going to have to. When did they start including the bowl games? Do you know that answer?
I believe it was like around the 2002, 2003. Okay. So it's only been about 20 years. So not much has been affected by it, but it's still quite a bit. All right, well, this is Cofield and Company, live from the Golden Circle Sportsbook and Bar here at the Treasure Island. Come on down, hang out. When we come back, jump into a little more college football.
I'm Eli Manning.
And I'm Peyton Manning. We want to tell you about the Caesars Sportsbook Nevada app with Caesars Rewards.
You can instantly redeem your Caesars Reward credits for sports bets right on the app.
You can also use the Caesars Reward credits earned on the app for meals and experiences at 15 resorts across the state, including the Bacchanal Buffet at Caesars Palace.
Don't forget those tier credits. With your wagers on the Caesars Sportsbook Nevada app, you can unlock free parking and much more.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you know the most important factor in your company's success? It's your people. They're the heart of your business. So how do you harness this potential? Insperity can help. From recruiting and onboarding to employee development and retention, we'll help you build a stronger, more resilient organization. See the difference the right approach to human resources can make, because how you HR matters. Find out more at insperity.com/HR matters.
Personal injury law has been the same for a long time. Big egos, greed, and sleazy schemes. Big and loud doesn't always mean right. And the conventional mold doesn't define success. Goodbye, false quick buck promises. We've had enough. Welcome to Sam and Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, where things are done the right way, with integrity, experience, and authenticity. We're champions for the underdog. Life happens, and when you need help, you deserve a team without hidden agendas. A team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. So if you've been hurt in a crash, call Sam and Ash, 702-303-0333. Sam and Ash, because you deserve what's right.
Holiday ready, a friendly Ford with year-end deals now. New F-Series trucks get up to $9,000 in total savings or 1.9% financing. 2024 Mustang Mach-E or F-150 Lightning, 0 for 72 months, plus up to $7,500 off MSRP and a free home charger. Yes! Friendly Ford on your Decatur, just off the US 95. Friendly Ford. Macy's Ford credit. Be friendly for details. Price after taxes, fees, and $599 stock fee. B372.
It's Steve Cofield talking about my pals at Oasis Bar and Grill. I'm telling you, this is the place to stop in for dinner, really anytime, 24/7, to grab something off the awesome Oasis Bar and Grill menu. Right now, when you buy an entree, you mention Cofield or ESPN Radio, and you get a free dessert. Holy moly, get the cheesecake. You need food to take home for football viewing? Let Oasis do the cooking. Oasis Bar and Grill on Decatur, just south of Tropicana. Follow on Instagram at Oasis Bar and Grill to find out about daily dinner specials.
Hanging at the Golden Circle Sportsbook and Bar inside Treasure Island. It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
That's right. This is Cofield and Company live from the Golden Circle Sportsbook and Bar inside the Treasure Island. Welcome to our friends up in Reno. This is the Reno Hour. And it's still the holiday season, so we still feel in a giving mood. So we're going to give away 2 tickets right now to the Front Row Card Show next Saturday and Sunday at the Rio. This is January 4th and 5th. Also, the winner will be qualified for $200 in card show bucks. If you do not win tickets from us, you can still buy them at frontrowcardshow.com. And these will be physical tickets, so you can swing by the station next week to pick those up. Once again, 2 tickets, Front Row Card Show next weekend. Griffin will take caller number 3. Caller 3 will be the winner for those tickets. Alex, have you ever collected any sort of cards or anything?
I have not. Have you?
I tried to get into it when I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I just had hundreds of cards just laying around in a shoebox. I never organized them or anything. I know a couple friends who collect them and sell them, and they enjoy doing it. I could just never get into it. I feel like there's too much. How do you know which one's good, which one's mediocre, which one's just a common? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. My dad collected cards for a long time.
Really?
Yes.
And
he still has most of them, so he hasn't resold them. He's got to ship them off to get it verified and everything, right? And like you said, find out how much they're worth. So
any really, really awesome ones that stand out?
Luckily he is our guest in less than 10 minutes. Maybe we can ask him.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. So one topic I was curious to get your thoughts on. Apparently Bill Belichick, new head coach of UNC, he will not be attending UNC's bowl game at Fenway Park this weekend. Do you think that's the right move, or should he go and support his school and maybe scout his current players of who he wants to keep and who might not make the cut? Do you think it's the right decision, or should he go to the game?
I think you should go to the game. And it kind of changes my handicap here, right? So probably going to stay away from that one. I wanted to actually bet on UNC. I thought these players would play tough and, try and earn a spot with him. But yeah, I really don't understand why he is not.
I don't either. And hopefully it's for a good reason. If he's scouting other people, or if he's doing something with the transfer portal, doing something, hopefully. But I was very surprised at this. I mean, we saw newly hired UNLV coach Dan Mullen. He just a couple days after being hired, he was in LA for the LA Bowl and watched UNLV win. And since then, he has retained a couple of players. A couple still entered the transfer portal, but it's really good to see players live and in person who you most likely haven't watched all season.
I hate to even have this thought, but do you think he's fine with them just being 6-6 on the year and not, or they would finish 6-7 now, right? If they lose this bowl game, but kind of like, okay, we'll turn the chapter after that bowl game, and then my record and my legacy here in North Carolina starts.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because who knows? Maybe he's sitting at home with a bottle of wine or whatever, and he's watching the game on TV. Who knows? But hopefully it's not like that's not my team, so I'm not going to go type of deal, and we'll start fresh after this game.
Right. Well, and I mean, how much impact can he really have on the players? If he's not down there helping coach, he really shouldn't have that much impact. And I'm sure if he is watching it from afar or on TV, he has told the players that as well. So they will be still trying, but very interesting.
All right. We'll do one more giveaway here before we take a break, and then welcome in Kenny White just after the commercial. Our next winner, they will get 2 tickets to a Henderson Silver Knights game along with some Silver Knights merchandise, and you will be qualified for a VIP experience for up to 14 people and a Henderson Silver Knights Star Wars jersey. So once again, 2 tickets to a Silver Knights game along with Silver Knights merchandise, and that'll go to caller number 2. Caller 2 will be our winner. We're back with Kenny White after this.
Traffic is brought to you by Port of Subs. Stop in today or order at portofsubs.com or on our app.
And a reminder